Hey guys, today I'm going to be teaching you how to use the TYME Iron Pro. Alright, so step one, obviously plug it in. Step two, turning it on. So you're just going to press the button. It'll turn like a blue lit up color. It's heating up right now to the 3rd heat setting, and that's how many dots will keep flashing until it's fully heated up. Maybe you can see that, hopefully. If this is your first time trying the TYME Iron Pro, I would honestly recommend trying the technique first with the iron off. But I'm going to show you with the iron on so you can see what technique creates what curl. Okay, so the first step for me is always parting my hair. My hair is pretty thick, so taking too much hair at once feels a little overwhelming. So I like to do 3 separate sections when I'm curling my hair. When I part my hair, I just start around the eyes or the eyebrows, and that is my first section, like that. And then you're gonna want to brush out your hair, especially if it's tangly like mine. Okay, so the number one thing to know about the TYME Iron Pro is remember your thumb is always behind the light. Also important to remember, no matter if you're on your left or your right side, you're gonna wanna have your thumb behind the light and also the light facing out. Those are the first key steps. You're not gonna get anywhere if you don't do that first. So here's where the learning curve comes in that you might have heard about with this iron. The left and the right side are gonna be curled a little bit differently. So let's start with the left side. I like to start at the back of my hair because after I'm done curling it, I can kind of toss it behind my back and it's not in the way anymore. And I will say, you're gonna wanna start small when you're using this iron at first. The bigger the section, the harder it's gonna be for you to actually get the technique down and everything. So start small, you can work your way to bigger sections. When you're doing the left side of your head, like I said, your thumb is gonna be behind the light facing out. I'm gonna keep repeating that because that's like the most important thing. Then, for the left side, you're not going to come in like this. The right side will be like this. For the left side, you're gonna come in from actually above. So you're gonna come in like this, and then I'll just go ahead and show you. Thumb behind the light, left side, you're gonna come in, and then you're gonna rotate your wrist towards the back of your head, turn your knuckles like you're revving a motorcycle, and you're gonna pull outwards, slowly but consistently. When the curl comes out of the iron, you twist it with your finger in the direction of the curl, so towards the back of your head, and that is the curl you get. Thumb behind the light, like that. It's clamped like that. It's like you're revving a motorcycle, like that. And practice that. That's the angle for the left side. Also, a good hack that a stylist told me one time is make sure when you're curling, no matter if you're using a hair straightener, a TYME iron, or a regular clamp curling iron, your width of your strand is no bigger than the width of your tool. All right, so thumb behind the light, coming in from above, getting it, rotating back like I'm revving a motorcycle, and you're just pulling out. So you're gonna be pulling out towards the mirror, and you're not gonna wanna kind of go down with it. You're gonna wanna kind of pull straight out, and that is the curl you get. So you're pulling straight out. You don't wanna go down, drag it down too much because you're not gonna get that much of a curl. I like the bounciest of the curls. I feel like they last longer. I feel like they fall into something very, very pretty, and you'll see at the end what they look like. All right, so let's do this again. Thumb behind the light, coming in from above, rotating towards the back, and then you're just pulling out, not down, out consistently. I like to use this hand to hold the tail end of my hair. I feel like it helps me kind of guide it through my hair so that it doesn't fall out of the end of the iron. I found it easier when I first started to curl the right side of my hair because the iron is at an upwards angle, so it's not as easy for the hair to fall out of the end. And that was something I kind of struggled with, but once I learned the trick to hold the tail of your hair and kind of help it guide through, saved me. I'm gonna speed the rest of this side up and then we'll move on to the right side. Curling this side, or at least the bottom layer. So now we're moving on to the right side. So same rules to start. Your thumb's gonna wanna be behind the light's gonna wanna be facing out, but there's a difference in how you're gonna wanna come into your curl. This also is just one of those things that you have to practice. You're not gonna get it the very first time you try it, but if you practice, it will work. and you can get it. It took me about 3 times of curling my hair fully before I fully felt like I got the hang of it. So you'll get a better sense of what is too big of a section versus too small of a section. I have a section about this big. Once again, you can always use the rule, if your section is smaller than the width of your iron, then you're good. You're gonna actually come in from underneath. So the thumb is behind the light and it is facing out. You're gonna take that section of hair and you're gonna come in like that from underneath. You're still gonna rotate towards the back of your head and you're still gonna be pulling straight out. And if you are left-handed, it's a little bit different, so make sure you check out our left-handed tutorial. Thumb behind the light, facing out. You're gonna come in from underneath since we are on the right side. You're gonna do that. I kind of like to still use this hand to kind of guide the curl through the plates of the iron until it gets to a certain point and I feel comfortable with it, and then I'll just kind of let it go on its own. And then that is the curl I get. Also, an important thing to remember, your curls will look different depending on the angle and how much you turn the iron. So if you're struggling with your curls looking the same throughout, the problem is you're probably not pulling out at the same angle. And if you don't do the same angle on either side, the curls will look different on either side. A fun little tip is you can actually draw like a line on your bathroom mirror at what angle you like your curls to be. And you can experiment with different angles with this iron since it can create so many different types of curls depending on the angle you hold it at. Use that as a guide of what angle you need to have your iron at for all your curls to look the same on both sides. Coming in from below, thumb behind the light, turning towards the back, and then I'm pulling straight out. Twisting with my finger towards the back is my curl. My right side and my left side is done, so we'll move on to the top sections. All right, so for my second section, I normally like to do this like little layer of my hair right in the middle and separate it because I have a few shorter layers on the top of my head and I want to curl them separately so that they really give a lot of texture and movement to my curls. All right, so I'm starting again on the left side. I'm taking a section from the back. Another thing you want to take into consideration other than the angle is how much you're turning when you're turning your wrist back. When I'm coming in from above and my thumb's behind the light on the left side, I'm pulling where I can see the hair coming throughout my whole head. I want to make sure that I can see this. I'm going like this so you can see the line of where the plates meet. And that's how I make sure that I'm consistent in how much I'm turning my wrist back. How big of a section you can get away with curling depends on what type of hair you have. So if you have finer, thinner hair, you probably can get away with a little bit of a bigger section than you can with thicker, coarser hair. Also to note, this curling iron is a titanium plated curling iron, meaning that obviously it can work for, you know, thinner hair or finer hair, but where the real magic is how it works on thicker, coarser hair or even curly hair. Literally like one pass, that's all it takes. All right, so second section of the left side is done. This iron does actually also have a 30-minute shut off. If you're anything like me and you can't remember whether or not you turned your curling iron off or not, it'll turn off after 30 minutes. The problem I see people write in about often is they're saying that their curling iron is like pulling. That means that you have too much pressure. So you need to kind of loosen your grip, chill out, not that serious. Let it glide through. It doesn't need to be jumping. So, done with that section 2, moving on to the final section of my hair. Finished both sides, and this is what it looks like. I'm gonna top it off with a little bit of hairspray. I like to shake out my curls a little bit after I've sprayed them, just kind of like this. I'm not really gonna run my fingers through them, except for at the top. You can style your curls however you like. If you like to shake them, brush them, whatever, it's up to you. Wait, they look so good. And this is what my curls look like. I feel like it gives me kind of like a faux blowout, bouncy curl. To me, it gives like almost 70s vibes. It's my favorite iron in our collection personally. That is how you use the TYME Iron Pro. Let us know if you have any more questions about it. We can make more videos. If you have specific questions about anything, make sure you share this video to someone who might need it. I know that y'all struggle sometimes with learning how to use this iron, but hopefully this video helps. Once you get over the learning curve, it's so worth it. This iron does something that no regular curling iron can do. All right, I'll see y'all later. Bye.